Anyway, should we get on to today's topic?
Yes, let's do it. Right, today's topic is something that I think everybody will go through. And it's quite an important one to talk about because, I mean, the answers to it we talk about all the time. But yeah, what's he still doing? But we're going to talk about weight loss plateau. And when you get yourself, could be on your journey, could be doing really well. Also, the scales just go, not dropping for you anymore. So that's what we're going to talk about, aren't we, Emma?
Yeah.
So do you want to start us off? What do we do when we have a bit of plateau when it comes to our weight loss?
Well, I guess the first thing is us feeling, like you said, a little bit frustrated looking at the scales and seeing them not going down, which obviously is frustrating. In the long run, we know that that's not an issue because there will be little phases where it doesn't go down. There'll be phases where it fluctuates for so many different reasons. And this is when, first of all, you kind of need to focus on something other than the scale. So this is why we get clients to take pictures of themselves every week so that we can see how their body is changing, because their weight on the scales might say one thing, but then in their pictures, there might be a slight little difference from last week to this week.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, even better than whatever it says on the scales.
Yeah.
Also, looking at how your clothes are fitting. So whether your jeans are looser, you're having to wear a belt, or maybe you're wearing clothes that you would never have worn before, but now you feel confident enough to. So that your weight on the scales is not the only thing that's going to determine how well you're doing. There are other things that are going to show the progress that you're making.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's it, isn't it? There's so many different more metrics to look at. Even performance in the gym. Your weight might not be going down, but you might be getting PBs every week. But yeah, like what you said, you need to go back and look at pictures because your weight will do this. Everyone goes through it, and yeah, many reasons. Like Emma said, for your weight to be doing that. Do you have more salt in your diet? Are you training harder so you're holding on more water? There's so many reasons for your weight to not go down. But yeah, pictures are super, super, super important to analyse as well. So should we talk about if it does continue to plateau and things that we can do to make it not plateau?
Yes.
Yeah. So one thing that we would do if it is pretty obvious that your weight is no longer dropping and maybe no change in terms of like pictures and stuff, then it may be that you need to obviously adjust your calories to a lower amount. So as you start on X amount of calories and your weight starts to come down, the calories is obviously going to come down with that because you're going to start weighing less, your BMR is going to become less. So you're going to need to eat less to be in a bigger deficit to continue that. I hate using the word weight loss. Like fat loss journey is because it's more apparent, right? I understand that we're trying to chase a weight, but weight is so many different components. And a deficit controls fat loss, not necessarily weight loss.
No.
This is another thing, isn't it? I know I'm going to be probably on a tangent, but this is where education is key and understanding your body and understanding the difference between weight loss and fat loss. And obviously, like we said, you're conditioned from a young age to chase the weight on the scales because if it's above X amount, you're fat. If it's not enough, you're skinny, whatever. But really, it's the fat loss that you're chasing because that's what you want to achieve, right? You want to get smaller, you want to be slimmer, you want to be more toned, you want to lose this body fat. So it's a fat loss journey as opposed to a weight loss. So
I mean, yeah, like it was like what Hale said last week. She's the heaviest she's been.
Yeah.
In terms of weight on the scales, and she's the happiest. So yeah, it is what you determine weight loss to be, isn't it?
Yeah, I reckon we should change this to fat loss plateau.
Fat loss plateau.
Yeah, let's change it to fat loss. Fuck weight. Don't care. Literally, you can weigh 70 kilos, jump on go and have a shit and a piss, jump back on the scales, be 69.
Yeah.
Are you going to sing and dance and celebrate? Probably not.
I went to the toilet. Yeah.
Yes, and I lost weight.
Yeah.
No, but it is a huge, I know we're laughing and joking, but it is a huge mental block for people.
Yeah.
Like people generally, and I do get it, like you are conditioned and you do have that emotional attachment or, what did my client say? She has like a mental block when it comes to the scales. Like she is so happy with how she looks. she knows that her body is changing, like she's got abs and that, but the scales are still not dropping as quick as she wants, and that's really annoying her, although she knows she looks 10 times better. So it's a huge mental block. It's a mind game, and just something that gets better over time when you start to learn your body, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, changing the calories.
Well, I was just going to say, with the calories, this is where you need to actually be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Are you eating the amount of calories that you have set for yourself or someone else has set for you? Because I hear so many times, I've been eating really good, but I'm just not seeing anything going down on the scales. By eating good, what does that mean? Like, you don't actually know what's going in your body by just eating good things that you think are good. So yes, reassess your calories, but also be honest with yourself and make sure that you are eating that amount of calories.
Yeah, it's also the little things that matter. The splash of milk that you put in your coffee, or the oil, or the ketchup that you put on that, or a bit of butter that you spread. That seems very small as part of that meal, but they are the more calorific things, especially the butters and the oils and the sauces. They're a lot of calories for a very small amount.
Yeah, that's what I had a new client come on, and she sort of told me the sort of meals that she's been eating, and she was having like a stir fry or something, and she was putting a sweet chili sauce on top, and she went for the low in sugar sweet chili sauce. So I put that in, and I was like, why is that so high in calories? Like, obviously she saw it thinking it's low in sugar. I went and found another one. It was like a dramatic difference, and obviously she was just thinking, oh, it's low in sugar, so it's probably healthier, but not necessarily. You have to look at the actual calories on
as well.
there.
Yeah.
So just making those sort of alternative swaps for some high calorie things.
It's like when you eat out, like, you know, you go out and you go, oh, I'm going to select the healthier option, but they're always going to be so calorific because they taste so good, which you go out, but the stuff it gets cooked in and stuff is what really racks the calories up. But it's just being mindful and knowing that you have to be aware of what you're eating and what's going in your body to determine whether you're in a deficit or not. Okay. And within that, I guess, making sure your macros are correct, of course. So if you are really plateauing on your fat loss, can we look to change to a more higher proteined attack as opposed to more balanced or more carbohydrates? Obviously, that can help optimize your fat loss journey and can obviously help you lose more body fat, especially when high protein. Also, lower carbs means less water intake, which means lower weight on the scale.
Yeah. But if that's the reason that you're going to lower your carb amount, then that's
not
silly. If you're getting annoyed with the scales and you're like, well, I'm just going to reduce my carbs so that it doesn't happen anymore. Yeah. It's not really the way to do it, because
really
that's
the idea.
Where you're going to be getting your energy from. So then you're going to be tired, miserable and unhappy. So,
don't ditch the carbs.
No.
Carbs for performance, protein for your fat loss. So, keep that in mind.
Yeah. I guess also activity levels and movement. You know, you might be eating a certain amount of calories, but are you moving enough to create that big deficit? So maybe increasing your step count.
Yep.
Adding some extra cardio into your sessions. Just making sure that you're moving a little bit more to create a bigger deficit because there's only so low you can go with food, and if you're like me, I'd rather move more than eat less.
Yeah. It depends on your circumstances as well. So I've got I love that we always refer back to clients, but it makes sense more real, right? I have a guy who's currently going through some sort of companies being bought. So he's in meetings like 6 till 6 or 7 till 7 or something. It's like back to back. So he just bought himself a treadmill. He's like, mate, I literally can't get to the gym around family life and around work at the moment. It's just one of them 2 weeks where it is what it is. So he's just bought himself a little treadmill. So he's just going to reduce his calories more, increase his step count, not going to the gym, not going to stress himself out about it. If he can go to the gym on the weekends, great. But just focus on that extra step count when he can. Obviously, you can walk and talk on a meeting. The perks of a desk treadmill. And obviously lower your food, because if you can't move as much, food is what you need to do. If you can move loads, then manipulate your activity and keep the food higher.
Absolutely.
Down.
Absolutely.
Is that your Australian thing? So what we also can do, now obviously we are, when it comes to obviously activity and training, we obviously advise people to keep to the same training plan and not change your program too often, because you want to stay in the same program. You want to progress in that, which is obviously going to allow you to build muscle and progress instead of changing your program every week. That being said, you may get to a certain point where you're not progressing as much. You are almost a little bit bored / demotivated with it, because some people just get bored. Then it's worth probably changing your session up just to give you that extra bit of motivation and intensity. So you may be training at a certain intensity on a program that you've been on for a while. Change your program up, absolutely. Change your split, change the exercises, change rep ranges, add different things in. Something that you can now stick to another block, which you can stay consistent in, but you're going to be more motivated, therefore, to train at a higher intensity. Therefore, body's going to burn more. You're going to build more.
Yeah, don't change it up too often, but if you do find you're getting bored or you're not enjoying it anymore, then feel free to change it up. As long as you can stick to it and you are going to enjoy it.
100%.
Then
we get it. When you've been in a program for a certain amount of time and you start to kind of not progress, or it's really hard to progress, sometimes it's nice just to change the sessions. You keep the same split, just change the exercises around, and all of a sudden you've got a new lease of life. Yeah.
New lease of life. Yeah.
Them wings smell good, by the way.
Pardon?
Them wings smell good, by the way.
And I guess, that just kind of comes on to, if you are plateauing on your fat loss and you are only sort of eating less and doing like cardio and moving and stuff, then maybe try some strength training. Yeah. Because if you're not seeing your weight come down on the scales, but you're seeing an increase in muscle mass and you're feeling more toned and stuff, again, it's going to be something like, well, the scales are saying that, but look at me, like my arms look more defined, my legs look more defined. So introducing some more strength work and resistance work into your training might help with that. Obviously, it burns a few extra calories as well, but in comparison to how else you burn calories, it's the tiniest amount.
Yeah. Well, strength training is key, really, because you think you build, the more muscle you build, the bigger your BMR can become. Therefore, you burn more calories at rest. So if you've got more muscle, you can eat more food. There you go. That's why you can eat so much food, because you're the size of your bum.
It's mostly body fat at the moment.
You've got such a big... See, Emma's annoying. She's one of them annoying human beings who can eat whatever she wants, although she is very good. But she can eat what she wants and just be lean. She just gets ready for bed and she's got a six-pack.
I'm smart with it, though. Don't just sit there and think, I literally
and she's got a big bum, so she burns loads of calories when she sleeps.
But I feel
her bum's got a heartbeat.
I feel like once you've built muscle, obviously you have to maintain muscle, but you're going to have a better chance of maybe putting on a little bit more body fat, but still looking good because you've built that foundation of muscle. Do you know what I mean? Like my bum is big because I built the muscle underneath, but when there's extra body fat on it, it looks even bigger. Yeah. But because it's got that foundation of muscle. So yeah, I am smart with it. I obviously trained for the photo shoot, which is where I built probably the most muscle I ever have. And I haven't just lost that because I've been maintaining it, even if I have put a bit of body fat on with it. But I eat what I want. I eat intuitively because I don't want to track my calories, but I move a lot.
Yeah. You do have a massive step count.
I move a lot. If you can find that perfect amount of movement that you know works for you, you can sort of just have that food freedom. I don't think I've tracked calories since before last summer when I was getting ready
you have to know though. You do have to know. Like there was I watched a guy, I think it was that Mike Thurston or something. Great shape. But he tracked calories or something for like 7 or 8 years, not non-stop, didn't miss a day. Like he's like proper regimented, doesn't go out or anything. But he stopped doing that now. But he can eat kind of what he wants because his brain knows, which is what we try and teach clients. Like they come on board, we try and get clients to track because you build up a library in your head, which is going to last a lifetime. So you can just make decisions consciously knowing that it's a good amount of calories for you at that point of day. And everyone's got a brain, everyone's got a memory. You can build that up. And it's exactly what Emma does. She basically got a dog, does 15,000 steps a day, eats smartly. She knows roughly how many calories. She's not going to know to the T, but if she was doing a photo shoot again, then she would probably start tracking because she would want things to be 100%.
Yeah.
But for your everyday life, you don't need to, do you?
No.
Oh, let's talk. We're going off track. We're going off track.
What?
We're going off track. I was going to start talking about your running career, but we'll come back to that.
What running career?
I think we've gone through the key things there.
I guess there's few added things that obviously are going to help that we've spoken about so many times before is obviously staying hydrated, drinking more water. That's going to obviously help you with weight loss because you're going to feel fuller because you're hydrated. Sometimes when we're hungry, we can mistake it for thirst. So if you're hungry when you're dieting, have a nice glass of water, getting good sleep, making sure that your body is fully optimized to smash the day, smash your sessions, put everything into your sessions, and be consistent.
Yeah.
And be fucking patient.
Yeah.
It's the hardest thing to hear. And I know when I say it to clients, they just think, yeah, well, easy for you to say, but you do have to be patient. And then they literally get like 3 months in and they're like, oh yeah, I did need to be patient. I wasn't going to make progress in 2 weeks.
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of people want to undo 10 years of bad habits and shit eating and putting on body fat within 3 months. Don't get me wrong, some people do some absolutely mental things with us, and that's brilliant. But for the average person who has a busy lifestyle and wants to keep a lifestyle that they have, you've got to be patient. You just got to be consistent, and the results will come if you're ticking them boxes. But going back to, we just talking about sleep, hydration, like recovery, that is super important with weight loss plateau, I think. 'Cause if someone's getting a bit burnt out, they're tired, you're kind of missing things like your hydration, then that can have an effect and why things can stop, especially if your kind of body's getting really stressed. So again, like we spoke in previous podcasts, recovery is super, super important. So another thing to factor in if you're having a bit of a plateau, calories, have a look at them, have a look at your activity levels, but also, are you stressed? Are you sleeping enough? Is your body working at 100%, or are you kind of just running into the ground?
Not enough sleep can affect our hunger hormones as well. So if you find you're really hungry and you're binging when you're dieting, it's probably because you're not getting enough sleep and your hunger hormones are just so imbalanced that you're just hungry all the time.
Yeah.
Your body's craving that energy you didn't get with your sleep. So
I agree.
So basically, I think a little recap is everyone is going to have a plateau at some point. Not necessarily just in fat loss, in everything. And you just have to kind of reassess everything and just check that you are ticking every single box. Check if there's anything else you can be doing, anything else you can be adding, because you're not going to plateau for the rest of your life if you change what you're doing.
And just remember, if you're in a deficit, you lose body fat. So
scientifically proven.
You can't do the whole, I'm in a deficit, and it's just not working. No, you're not in a deficit. So just make sure that take a step back. Are you eating the correct calories? Are your activities to what you say they are? Are you being consistent? Because, listen, we said it before, if you get stranded on an island, and you get left there for 3 months, you're not coming off that island fatter than you went on it.
You love that little.
Oh, I love it because it's. I heard someone else say it, so I've copied it. But it's true, right? And that's just the way the body works. Like there's no like starvation mode, and your body stops burning and starts gaining fat without you eating enough. Doesn't make any sense. But anyway, just stay in a deficit.